So I welcome you guys to this webinar. I just wanted to start off this webinar by giving you guys some gems about what we should focus on for next year, as many of you have achieved the milestones that you were looking for as far as seeing some payouts from this market. Now there's less and less doubts about will this work for you or not. Yes, it will, but there's still some small work to be done as you're not focusing on so much on what it's going to take to get on the field. Now it's about how do you continue to get playing time now that you've made it to the team, right? You wanted to become a ball player, you became a ball player, you got drafted, you got your last name on your certificate, you got your payout, you got your fund, but there's more work to be done. Job's not finished, and I get it. So as I share my screen here, I want to show y'all something. Here are some of the things you want to work on going forward into the next year. If some of you guys are still having issues with entry psychology, you need to work on that. Meaning, is it really about the sniper entry or is it really about scaling in? Sometimes you realize that it's much better to get in after price gives you clarity. I used to obsess about having the most sharpest, most earliest entries. And then as time went on, I'm like, that's not as important as understanding what the overall direction is. So I get in a little later now. I'm just waiting for price to actually do retest and do decide to start making the reversal happen for me to tell that this is where we're going. Um, that's very important. That's why like nowadays you'll hear me say, hey, you know what, man, I'm getting in around 10:30. Now that market open, or if for gold in this case, you'll hear me say, you know what? I'd rather price come back to retest the zones in the 12:30 p.m. Time frames or 11, retesting the pre-market of US 30. That gives me an idea that okay, these levels have been retested and is giving more confirmation instead of me guessing. That was a big game changer for me. I'm not obsessing about entry as long as I'm getting the right areas of interest and my positions are around there, then that's fine. It doesn't have to be at the first tap of price retesting. Let me explain. It's not as important to me that the first time price makes it here into demand, I'm like, I'm right in here with my stop loss over there, not knowing if it's gonna keep selling or doing stuff that make me uncertain. I much rather like a break and retest after it already confirmed the zone was tapped. I don't know if you guys, some of y'all are with me on this one. I don't know if that has been something that you have been doing as well. I might have seen something retest here by 8:30, but I'm fine seeing it retesting by like 10:30 again. So that way I'm like, this is a very well confirmed area. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna get in here and put my stop loss below here and expect a continuation. I'm very relaxed nowadays when it comes to the topic of entry psychology. I don't put so much pressure on myself anymore. The second thing you want to focus on next year is exit psychology. For example, y'all seen me get into this beautiful buy from gold. And let me go to the other chart because this is updated. I guess I updated this mindlessly. All I know is nothing told me that price was going to just reject this fast off these 4 hours. It didn't even touch 42.60. It went and touched 42.59. And the candle expired so fast. And I'm thinking price. I gave price just a little bit of a chance to maybe retest and get me out of drawdown and continue. And all of a sudden, that candle had all the strength of Zeus and the Greek gods, and it just dumped. I tried, just like when me and Alice was having a conversation of price could potentially buy back. And all this right here created some uncertainties that made me re-enter a few times and it just didn't work out. But luckily enough, part of my past reminded me, hey, bro, it's Friday. You don't have to keep trying. Let's just leave it at the loss that we could work on, right? So let's just leave it at the loss. Taught me to still walk away, even though I got my ass handed to me. You know, that's another important skill to maintain that trading account, to maintain that challenge account or that futures live account. It's like, golly, bro, I want to recover today, man. I do see that price has potential to reverse and it. You try the first 2, 3 attempts and it's just not working, man. Leave that joint alone, bro. It's so hard sometimes, but it's best to just leave it alone. That's still an area within the exit psychology that I feel I could be better on because let's be real, we was getting close to like a 4 hour high. But it because we don't have the insight of seeing how fast price might react from a zone, very important to just move with uh hmm, we gotta move with speed. Move with speed in our exit psychology game. Some areas, as much as we have an outlook on what could happen from here, it's good to know if something is about to reverse and you have any slight ideas, you feel something's fishy. Okay, the minute you feel something fishy, just like D Money usually says, oh, I'm out. We'll find out later if we were right or wrong. Just to just to find out if we are um if our intuition was right or wrong. Okay. So are you guys with me on that? Like, are we doing good so far with the psychologies? Next up is trade management psychology. Sometimes it be some small decisions that just was not well executed while we were in the trade. It's like, damn, I should have moved the stop loss sooner. Happens to the best of us. I remember I was in this counter trade buy by 12. I'm like, okay, now that the market is actually gonna start pushing, I'm gonna let it do what it do. I move the stop loss. This candle starts pulling back fast. I'm like, damn, okay, you know what? Let me just close the trade then in profit. Because if I get stopped out, it'll be cents. I might as well just get out with 1K, even though I was really trying to, recover some more. It looks like by 12 price had the full potential to buy back, and they just didn't. That threw me off a little bit. So trade management psychology is not always the best, but learn to do some game management out of the experiences you've made before and you just fell short. I grow to find that many times this market and certain experiences is just like driving. You won't always know what you should have done. You should have made that right, avoided the accident. You just don't know for sure if this is what you should have done. But if you find that this is a reoccurring thing where you could have done better with the trade management decision, pay attention to what you can do better next time. All right. Now, there's also breathing room psychology. Some of y'all are still putting the stop loss so tight that the pullback literally just stops you out every single time. That's just telling me that it's either you, while you scalping, you just, hey, continue to put that stop loss just to protect the trade, but get out at the maximum uh profit. If you're scalping and you just find that the problem is that you don't put enough breathing room, and if you just don't see that you're able to do that, either scale down, use less risk and give yourself a little bit of breathing room. As we have seen this year, I think a lot of people struggled adjusting with gold because now a pullback and a stop loss below the low might be like freaking 120 pips. 120 pips. So some people don't feel comfortable with that, but you have to have an answer for it. One second. My mom texted me and he's all the way in Haiti, so I have to hurry up and text her. Mom, doing good. Um, okay. So um if that's something you need to work on, just write it down. Make sure you write it down so you can see better improvement. All right. Old time psychology. We talked about these for the past 3 years. Old time psychology is getting used to understanding your trade setup. If y'all follow me on the Telegram, y'all seen that when I noticed that price gave a break and retest and it was a breaker block, I was ready to hold this trade till 12. Because I know usually like on a 30-minute, 1 hour time frame, 15-minute time frame, when the market gives you a nice breaker block, meaning when the market just comes back to retest a previous high and then makes it a new low within the structure, yeah, that's usually like a 3 hour hold at least. And that's kind of what betrayed me too. I'm like, I was so ready to comfortably let that trade play out. And you just couldn't. All because the higher time frame and the manipulation was at play. Um, don't even want to call it a manipulation, but this I didn't see coming. It was not in my bingo card. That happens though. I can't be mad at it. I really can't. But learn to know how long on average your trades usually play out, your setups usually play out. Loss recovery psychology. Um, we always feel our best when we're winning and we have good streaks. And soon as we take a loss, you need to focus on your recovery psychology, your recovery plan. I find that what helps me is I'm like, damn, well, shoot, I lost some money, but I always can depend on the setups that I know well to get me back to where I need to be. So when I start seeing them again, I'll know that's my trade style. I'll know that these are the trades that the same ones that help me stay profitable will help me recover. I usually use that mantra. I'm like, listen, I know these losses happen, but hey, on the bright side, the same setups that helped me get here will help me recover. Amen. Amen. All right. If somebody needs to write that down, be like, hold on, don't say nothing. Let me write that down. I'm here to help you guys win and have less anxiety for next year. Hey, will the markets change, bro? I don't know, man. Maybe this year was lucky. I survived a couple setups. I mean, I barely got my payout, huh? So yeah, yeah, I know. I know. But hey, if these setups were not random, the ones that made you profitable, the ones that you know well, you executed them, guess what? They'll be here next year and the year after that. I've gone through enough years to tell y'all I've had these thoughts too. Like, damn, what if next year the market throws a whole, especially if I was when I was so subscribed to this whole idea of the algorithm. I'm like, what if they change the game? Huh? What then? Will you rely on trading? I'm like, shit. And then as the year starts to progress, I'm like, oh, I'm still seeing my setups. We good, guys. We good. We good. One thing I will say though is this year taught me, listen, it's not you. Maybe you just gotta let the month finish into a new quarter. I was struggling by the end of July. Gold was giving a lot of weird wicks. Then August was so smooth. I'm like, oh, okay. I remember by June, I was kind of waiting for certain setups to play out for swings, and they would just not, they were not going the distance. And then things pretty much got better by end of July. So it was like 2 months of weirdness, but then the third month was fine. So I was like, you know what? This gave me a new perspective out of being a trader. Uh, it's really a business. So some business has slow months, and just remember that can happen and just stay steady, survive it until the next quarter, the next month. This is why sometimes it is important to have different skills. I know we rely on trading so much, but some of the months might not be good. And so you have to have certain other ventures that can help us still bring home some income and not force things. You know, back in the day, trading was really for people who already had businesses or who were established, and they just used this to make more money so they could go and invest that money elsewhere. It's not what a lot of people make it out to be. All right. It's not, oh, well, if you're a trader, you're a trader. You're supposed to make your money from your trades alone. No, 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 no. Where the heck are you getting the money in the first place? Has to be from a business. It has to be from, business funding. It has to be from your other ventures. It's not about growing a very small account and took it to 1 million. That story is a one in a million. Okay. Means it's rare. All right. Emotional management. How many of you guys are still struggling with emotional management? We're never going to be emotionless. It's just about how we manage the emotion. Sometimes I get into some positions. I don't like how it's moving. It does make me feel antsy. I'm like, yo, hey, I'm ready to quit at any second here if anything goes south. That's not me being emotional. That's just me not feeling comfortable just yet until the volume starts to move away from this area. But what had helped me is I'm like, all right, well, I've been in this trade for what, 3 minutes. If the structure is right, then I might need 30 to 45 minutes just to actually see price move. But sometimes, for example, price action like this, every single entry, I wasn't feeling too comfortable because I know what usually makes me comfortable: a break and retest, some healthy volume, not this. So then that's why it's important to know like how much risk you're willing to take, how many attempts you're willing to take before you start to really tilt. But I ended up on this side of emotional management by knowing certain conditions. There we go. That's the thunder I thought was going to drop. But y'all with me on that, right? Emotional management psychology, emotional management psychology. How many out of the 12 people on this call right now still deal with bad emotional management? From a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel in the comfortability of emotional management on the charts? I say at this point, I'm a good 8. I'm a good 8. Good 8. Scale of 1 to 10. Let me see the scale of 1 to 10. This is a survey. I'm gonna repeat. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel you're at this point in your emotional management psychology? This ain't a question where you low key just gonna stay quiet. This is this is your moment of reflection, moment of truth. A lot of you guys want me to have, personal one-on-ones with you. I don't always have that time anymore. But on these calls, I'm knocking out multiple birds with one stone, one voice. So please engage. That boy's a god. Nah, Twan, on a serious note. So what's up? Who's B? Who's B? I think I remember he said who he was last time, but I just can't remember. All right. Okay. Okay, Brandy. Okay, okay. Those are some good numbers. 7.5, 6, 7, 5. That's right in the middle. Okay. Brandy says 6. Twan says 10. All right. And all right. Okay. So that's something to remember going into 2026, right? You know where you at. Now, your profitability management psychology. How often do you give back everything you've made? From a scale of 1 to 10, do you usually make it towards the end of the week, the end of the month, with the profits or most of what you have? Or do you usually give it all back? I think in that area this year, I'm a good I'm a good 7.5. It takes a while before I like take a bad loss. But I know my weakness is market conditions like these. Cause I'm at first it literally looks like it's actually gonna play out for me to recover and then another loss. I'm like, all right, yeah, I've been here before. Getting out, I'm leaving it alone. So I truthfully say a 7.5 profitability management. I counted myself to recover, but um, yeah, I'm not blowing accounts these days. I've not blown one account this year. The account might have gotten low, but I'm like, all right, I can't touch this. I gotta go put more funds. Gotta put more funds on here before I continue because I just don't want to see an account get to zero. I'd rather just add some more funds. Kita, what's going on? Glad you could join. Glad you could join.
What's up, bro?
It's good to see you.
Same, bro.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I see 4, 6.5, 6.2. Okay. That's so truthful. I really appreciate y'all for being transparent on this call about this right here. You know, um, these are the things that you'll never get anywhere else. Most people don't talk about these things, and you're not gonna find it on no content online. You know, it's this is what like a performance coach will go over with you. So now you know what areas you need to work on and how you need to work on it. I just
I
know
just
I need to build if it's just not working out. Um, a few attempts is not working out. Let me leave it alone. Yeah, I know how this. I know this could go down a path that I don't want. Okay. All right. Still working on to be profitable, mainly in demo, but still going pretty well. That's good. Definitely think about throwing a low few hundreds in an account so you see how you really react when it's money, it's actual money trading. It's good. The discipline to work on for sure. Good job. Yeah. So, yeah, like, 2026 is what going to be my 11th year. So, I've seen a lot of things where I'm comfortably saying, wow, I've come a long way. But still have the responsibility to check myself every now and again. And that's the only thing you need going forward. Right. So now, did this portion of the webinar give you guys great insight and value?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. This is the most important part, I feel like, honestly. I
Yeah,
mean, even over the skill of trading, I mean, the psychology and mindset to me becomes the most important thing.
absolutely. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. So I appreciate you going over all of this.
yeah. Notice I never give y'all some bullshit regurgitated. Like you never know what you'll get out of my webinars. And it's all script, but I definitely count on myself to give y'all something worth your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do appreciate it's like your real experience, things you're actively going through, and have dealt with, you know what I mean? It's definitely appreciated.
for sure. Yeah. I'll even add something else, guys. Um, I know for the most part, you guys favor trading uh funded accounts, and you've probably never had the feeling of trading more than 10K of personal funds. I know some of you guys have, but there was a point in time in July, like I was consistently hitting 8K, 9K, 5K days, 4 or 5K days. But let me tell you, it takes a lot of balls to be putting $20, $40, $60 on a trade. And it can wear you out. It can wear you out. This is why I'm always telling y'all, like, hey, if in 3 trades, y'all don't know the other side of these stories. There's been some big losses too. you know, like it's weird when you get to a point in trading where you was casually driving down to run errands and you saw 6K and you either close it or you, like for example, Friday, the market literally shifted and I saw 6.8 and I didn't see nothing but 1,000. I'm like, huh, what the hell? Yo, blah, blah, blah. Mom called me. I'm like, yo, mom, I'll call you back. By the time I had to close what was best, it wasn't all that. And that's why I tried to go and, recover whatever. It didn't work out. But in July, I was dealing with weird market conditions where like I'm seeing price go down to fill the fair value gap. Like I was talking to somebody last week. I'm like, man, I don't give a damn about no fair value gaps no more, bro. It's about the structure and the decision that I make because price be finicky at areas, levels where the wick is just there. And the next thing you know, you go from a 8K top a day, and then all of a sudden you gotta hurry up and close
Yeah.
whatever's left. And I will tell you something, guys. I always hear someone tell me, yeah, why didn't you close at 8? That wasn't the plan. Most times I've had to settle with this, and I've said this before, even in my 2023 psychology bootcamp. Man, most times I'm really starting to just look at the money. I noticed that if I see 4 to 6, 8K or something like, yo, if I don't close the first time, the second time I might see it get close to it. And then all of a sudden I don't see that number no more. So I'm pretty sure most of y'all have experienced this too. Like you see the number the first time, you want to see it touch areas of demand or supply. You want it to break the liquidity up there. And then ain't no liquidity that was broken but yours and your spirit. And so I was like, you know what, man? If 3 out of 4 days you see, for example, for you guys on the funded side, if you saw 2K 3 times in a week, and if you closed out 2K 3 to 4 times within the trading cycle period before your payout, you definitely saw 8 to 12 bands. Just start making that your new normal. You see the 1 to 2K, you're done. Forget about the rest of the whatever it was going to do. And don't even worry about the fact that it kept on going. Try and make these your base hits. The numbers you keep seeing the most. That's funny. The market does this. It's like the universe of the market. You ever start to see numbers more often? You're like, damn, I keep seeing 1K days, but I'm just not closing them fast enough. That's your sign. Start closing them fast enough. On some real. I'm like, damn, bro. All right. I need to start closing those. Is any of y'all starting to see this? I know I'm not tripping. I need to hear somebody say, yeah, bro. Sometimes just be seeing that one exact number. You know how folks will be like, their whole religion is they see numbers and they believe in those numbers. Oh, I've been seeing 444 all day. That must be something. Okay, sure. Okay, cool. I believe you. All right. But if you keep seeing those same numbers on the charts, start closing them fast enough. Okay. That for me to you, you're not tripping. You're not tripping. All right. So going forward into the next year, yeah, start closing them numbers out. Yes, I know you have a take profit problem. I know that you do. It's going to continue. Yes. Yeah, sure. But some of those decisions had to be made after we've already secured some profit from that trade and move the stop loss, and then you can have that goal for it to keep going. Yeah. The safe, the take profit problem is tough. I cannot say that sometimes that isn't a problem of mine. It's like resilience versus what you see at the time. It's a very weird game sometimes with trading. It's like, should I hold until it makes it to the next thing? Because I know it usually does that. And then once it comes back to take you out, you're pretty upset. So I learned to deal with that by being trying to find a way to balance the two. So I'm finding myself to close more partials, close more positions, letting the rest get to the idea that I thought. But having closed more of the profit makes me feel a whole lot better because I trade for a living. I know what certain profits will do if I withdraw at least 3 times a month. I'll cover so many bills. I'll also have reserves to go invest elsewhere. Start focusing on crypto or start putting cash away. Stuff like that is very, very important to me. So it's not about just seeing price get to a certain area. Sometimes it's just like, yo, I saw 4K, I need that. If I saw for five, that's something that I could literally just not. I could go on about my day, have a great day knowing I made this and secured that. You know. So now I think we close that chapter. Do y'all have any questions? Y'all have any questions before I continue? Was this well broken down? I know somebody came a little late, so let me just scroll up. Here are the areas we want to focus on for 2026 in the psychology department. I was having a conversation with Jaquel on Friday, and it was about strategies, right? Strategies that work for others and they swear by. And one person out their mouth said, you know, the strategy is so simple, it works. And shoot, I would have a 9 out of 10 winning streak. I would have a 90% win rate had I not been emotional about this trade and that trade. And I was like, that's trading. It's not that the psychology, it's not that the strategy won't work. It's about how you manage the trade in between. Every strategy ends up working when you looked at it and you saw it in hindsight. But what about when they pass you the ball? All of a sudden you can't criticize no basketball player, huh? Because you suck. Your art sucks. Your dribbling sucks. Your game management sucks. Right? I always say these things like I see everybody think they would have been better athletes just by sitting in front of the television and telling, man, that coach is an idiot, man. Why would you go for 2 points? Yeah, all right. Have you ever been a coach before? Do you know what it's like to have pressure in the moment? Well, if you're a trader, you know what that's like. And you barely make the right decision sometimes, but you learn from it, don't you? So that's the part where we need to be humble and realize, okay, it's not just a strategy, it's about these areas of psychology. Okay. Now, let me write this note into the chat as well. Just a reminder when you are not, when having taken a loss. All right. So here's the game plan for this week. I don't have one. I don't fully know what Gold wants to do just yet. All I know is price made it to this high, this 4 hour supply, and price immediately rejected off of it. So this tells me going into this week, this is the recent high. This was around 11 to 12. This is where we thought price would buy from. And it couldn't. I'm wondering if price will retest this area and sell further. Yep, you man. Price literally has tried for pushing higher and it failed. Now, normally it is true. We've talked about the fact that like if we're looking at a trade, there's rejection candles up top or at the bottom. We best be careful. But there was no way I saw this coming, but I'm sorry, guys. So going into this week, I'm not sure if gold has it for us to buy. But again, I've seen crazy things happen where just one candle shifts the whole narrative. So I'm not the one to just tell you that, oh, gold is bearish now. They are still ranging. And sometimes throughout the week, we start to get more answers revealed out of what the market really wants to do. I just know by now, on a higher time frame perspective, we have shoot last Monday after the webinar ended in the wee hours of 1 in the morning to 3, 5 in the morning, they started buying, and that's how they broke out of this area. So we just got to really pay attention to how these demand zones get respected on the 4 hour time frame to tell what gold really wants to do. So for now, and then it is December. If we can't find the right volume, we just gonna have to not force it. All I know is this is the range. This is Thursday's price action. This is Friday's high. And so if we can't even break past this recent supply zone, then I could see for Sunday, Monday, we could see price sell a little bit further, but I can't tell for sure where it would stop at. Probably retesting 4170 though, 4160. And that's about as much as I can tell for that. Okay. That's a fair statement. I can't lie to you. Well, I do know this is a solid demand, it looks like. And I know this is the current range, this is the supply. So we're trading between 42.59 and 41.65 as of right. So if price makes it to this demand and is respecting it, maybe we will see some buys come out. But again, that's just the price action I see there. I definitely am looking forward to see what happens throughout the week so we can get a good read. I'm moving into the indices. US 30 these past week or two has been more of a dollar cost average type of asset class. Because I've seen price retest previous day lows that I typically would have wanted to just get in a little later. But the moment it drops, it bounces one time. Oh, it already had all the volume in the world to just push. And it's been uneasy to actually just get in unless you had like a very simple conservative position, knowing you're going about the trade with like maybe 120 point stop loss, and you would have just casually, comfortably gotten in these trades. But then things really have gotten a bit uncertain going into the end of the week, all because there's uncertainty in the real world when it comes to economics and geopolitical decisions. But let's not go too deep into that, right? Let's keep it simple. Since February, since November the 21st, price did fall into this demand zone. And this was the last time we also saw with the S-Dow that the market actually came and retested a very strong area of supply. I've taught you guys recently that the S-Dow can be a very good determinant of reversals along with the VIX. So as we can see, Friday, November 21st, price bought, retested last month's highs. And we can see that price has been uh, going crazy ever since. So
Wait, what?
what'd you say?
You've been looking to SDO and VIX though?
Oh yes.
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
I'm a granddaddy now, bro. I can't trade like these young boys. Gotta look into some more.
I know about them though, like in my trade on Thursday it was based on them, like on divergence. Like,
Oh, nice, my guy. Yeah,
damn, bro.
yeah, we gotta monter un autre niveau.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I trade with more efficiency of institutional types of perspectives. So I still see US 30 as bullish, but it's just sometimes it's been hard just to get into some positions. But I will say this. Ever since ever since 2023, I cracked the code on US 30, and it's just the fact that price will simply come down to retest the previous day lows and go back up. And I used to kill it with US 30 off that simple strategy that I taught you guys. Because I might be wrong on a Monday, but I'm not tripping because I know US 30 is notorious for retesting the previous day ranges, right? So Monday, December the 1st, price ran out of there and then just did a whole bunch of weird stuff. But Tuesday, price came back into the same area and bought. Wednesday, price dipped. You got Tuesday's low got retested and they bought. So I love that strategy. And that's usually why I'm not a swing trader for you, still. I'll come in on separate days. If I like it, I'll get in. Just retest, waiting for them to retest those days. Obviously, the trick is to already have mapped the previous day before the 9:30 open, so you can kind of see where the range was at between London and pre-New York is where I'm usually looking at, meaning between 3 to 8. I'm like, okay, where was the market on the left between 3 to 8? And I go from there. Sometimes if like I'm waking up and I'm seeing prices looking consolidated, if it sells, I'm like, wait, where was the previous day's range at? Between that and 12 p.m. And then when I see them dip, I'm like, okay, let me just wait a little bit. That I can't lie to y'all. If the market comes down to a wick like this quickly, I'm usually not in that trade. I'm typically waiting for another retest. If it's not, then I will. Because it didn't give me enough time to be like, okay, what's my game plan? Am I getting in and I'm putting my stop loss there? How many points is that, and how much should I risk? If I can't answer those questions, I'm not gonna get in the trade, and that's fine. I need to have time to have those questions answered for me to even feel comfortable about it. Okay. Going back into gold real quick. Um, I am definitely going to keep in mind Thursday's low, which was at 41.88, because it just might be price retesting that demand zone and keeping it there without having to go further down. So I have some uncertainty about gold. I'm not gonna trade it yet until I see some break and retest from here. Because in my mind, like whatever happened last week was a rejection of the 4 hour. Coming down to retest 4 hours, I still feel we're bullish. I don't see them breaking that much structure to say that we're bearish now. But I do know potential areas of 41.70, or these areas could just be the demands that they keep playing around with. So please keep that in mind. That's why I stopped calling signals as like an official thing. Sometimes I might say I see a trade, hey, this is my stop loss, but don't rely on me to be the signal giver. I've been called it puts on that, because sometimes, yeah, we could have few good weeks, few good months, and then when these unexpected things happen, honestly, I don't have the guts to keep telling you, okay, oh, we're re-entering now. We're entering now. I don't know how strong most people's resilience are, and how much you're attempting to re-enter. And I just hate when somebody go, yeah, bro, I I blew an account, bro, and it was that trade you called. I'm like, all right. Number one, I don't want to be accountable for that at this point in trading. Number two, you can never really teach someone how to manage their own emotions and risk unless they just do it themselves. I'd rather tell you what I'm looking at when I feel like it, and that's pretty much that. Pretty much that. I give enough game for people to really know what they're doing at this point. And I'm comfortable saying. Now, back with the indices, we're gonna check in NQ. One thing that bothers me about NQ is it, I know a lot of people are great traders with NQ, but NQ is a much better swing asset class, and an asset class where you invest in it when it dips. Because it be giving some V-shaped recoveries. Sometimes the pullback is weird, and you don't end up catching it. Is anybody on this call just like a purist with NQ, like a NASDAQ trader, like you swear by it, that's all you trade? What's been your experience this year, these past 12 months, these past 11 months with NQ? Has it brought the money home? Have you been overall profitable? Has it helped you make certain payouts? Or anybody here who just trades NQ more often than me? Because I don't trade it as often. Anybody here trades Nas faithfully? I'll take that as a hard no.
Nope. Remember last year, not last year, the year before, I lost $2,600. But it was all my fault. All my fault on Thanksgiving. Holiday night, no stop loss. Forgot. So
Yeah,
no more Nas for me.
I do remember that story. We've been saying not playing with Nas. All right. Swan said too risky. Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
sorry. I got on late. I was babysitting. So you
That's
didn't
fine.
trade Friday, did you? You said not to trade on Friday?
Nah, I did trade Friday.
Oh, you
It was
did?
Thursday. I said, nah, I'm not feeling it.
Oh.
Yeah, Friday was a good setup until it just found this high and just dumped.
Well, I thought so too. So I got in a trade, but somehow, again, I forgot my stop loss and I stepped away. And it was my funded account, my
All right.
drawdown.
Sorry for your loss. I know that's not going to end well.
Lesson learned. No, did it. It did it.
Yikes. Yeah, it was weird, man. That sell off was wild. It was definitely some seek and destroy. Um, like we know who says it. All right. Yeah, based on your responses, guys, yeah, Nas can be a good asset to trade, but sometimes I just don't understand it. And that's why, like, you'll catch me trading US 30 more than you ever hear me trade Nas too much. Not to say it's a bad one, man. It's just that from my experience, sometimes it's just that it'll be doing stuff like that very often. And I'm like, yo, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? But it is smooth once we get into a nice retest, but uh yeah. As much as I do analyze trades and pairs like GBP USD, I've missed out on most of their price action because you really can't be focusing on too many things, especially when you're trading gold, when you kind of looking at US 30. It's a tough call. But GU has definitely played some smooth setups, but the timing be off with me. Like 2 p.m., I'm seeing that they finally retested. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't be looking at 5 a.m., 8 a.m. I like pairs that are consistent with their behaviors because I'll know what to expect at around a certain time of the day. But when you're looking at pairs like these, you got to really catch them on the 4 hour structure and just give them the day or two to figure themselves out, like just to get themselves together. Because if not, you're always going to miss out on the trade setup. That's why over the years, I'm like, you know what, man? I like you, US 30, even though sometimes, you can give me a little hiccup, but you're consistent. You're consistent with what you do. Even if it's on a 80, 75% um frequency. Anyways, going into this new week, always mark your Fridays. So as prices pulling back in, we know Thursday and Friday. Excuse me. Thursday and Friday was right here. The demand zone for Thursday, Friday was right here. So this is where I'll base my price action, especially if I go to the 4 hour and I see that there's definitely room for price to make it to the upside if they need to. But at the same time, at the same time, price is rejecting 4 hour structures a lot. So the next time price does something significant, it'll need to find strength in the 4 hour demand for it to start buying up. And because look, the last time price was struggling to break a 4 hour structure, they ended up selling further into demand before it actually bought again. So this is a very, very weird month. But I believe this week is a very significant week. You guys know why that is? This week,
Yeah, there's a lot of news ahead, bro.
yes, this week is FOMC week where the federal funds rate, we're going to find out if they're going to lower rates or not. There's been a lot of uncertainty whether that's going to happen or not. So the market been bullshitting. And I guess that's also something that gold needs to decide if we're going to be buying further than this print. But I will say to you, going into this week right now, all I see is 4 hour structures can't be broken up top. And I see a lot of potential that price could sell off. So this week, you're not gonna catch me trading much. Unless I see the usuals. Like I wake up, I see the market retested London lows. All right. New York, we might have a scalp. 15, 20 minutes. Boom, got it. Maybe 5 minutes. When I'm just a scalper sometimes too, like, I'm like, don't forget, gold moves 100 pips, buddy. A 2-3 lot, you're done. You're really done. You don't gotta really be here for price to make it to the next structure, but find 100 pip moves and just be out of here. I don't like the market like that. If I gotta play defense, I don't play defense. Someone said NFP. Yeah, what happened to NFP? We ain't hear about NFP, and they just casually don't even talk about it. I've not seen NFP on the map. Last week we didn't have it. And I don't see it this week. So yeah, we're just going to be focusing on FOMC this Friday just to see what happens. Yeah, and that's it's really the most exciting thing that's going on the charts. Yeah, I see employment cost. I've never even seen this on the chat before. The hell is that? Change in price. Businesses and government pay for civilian labor. Oh, it's released quarterly. That's why I don't be seeing. I never read it. It's a leading indication of consumer inflation. When businesses pay more for labor, the higher costs are usually passed on to the customer. Well, isn't that great? Well, we already knew that. Even if we lower interest rates, that's going to drive up price for like the indices. But that don't mean our problems are over. That's why I'm so glad a lot of you guys have stepped away from like what's the word? Some of y'all started the past 2 years as um aggressive politicians. And then you started realizing what I was saying was true. Being in between and understanding some things, looking at it from like a very grand lens. Because at the end of the day, even if we do get a new federal chair, that doesn't mean our problem suddenly goes away. We're always going to have this inflation issue because it's since March 2020, when we opened up the floodgates to help bail out these banks, and it was never our problem. Sometimes people are talking about, yeah, man, they're using our taxpayer dollars to, yeah, well, did you know the Pentagon still hasn't said where these billions of dollars have gone? Why are we not upset about these taxpayer dollars? And sometimes I see conversations about immigration online, and now all of a sudden people are directing their anger towards how governments look out for immigrants more than the American people. Well, we should be mad at the government, not the immigrants, not the people who came with nothing, who had to build from nothing. And that still shows the discipline of an immigrant community, because they don't even speak the damn language. So you telling me with all these disadvantages, you still mad at them? Nah, they had to be some sort of smart to build businesses, even if they receive loans. Like, what are we talking about? Some of these things are just funny to me. And now all of a sudden, people don't realize that. Don't be surprised if Venezuelans are seeking asylum to the US in the next couple of years. All of a sudden, people going to hate Venezuelans because they're immigrants coming in here. Well, someone went to go bring their freedom and all their troops to Venezuela. It's a cycle. Destroy people's countries, take their resources, give them nowhere else to go but your country, and then people are complaining about immigrants coming to that country. Well, leave people's countries the hell alone then. But you can't do that, can you, America? No. So if you're going to destroy people's countries, expect folks to have no choice but to come to yours. Because, and then here's another thing. Do you know America literally takes from resources, then gives back as a backhand compliment, knowing that they were wrong? A lot of these immigrants that receive funds and programs that are made for them is not because the taxpayer the taxpayer comes last. No, it's because they knew what they did to those countries. So then they're kind of paying you in small increments for having killed your people and taken your resources. But people don't see it like that. And now they're actually using those same tactics towards the American people, the veterans, and it's a shame. When they say they are giving you a $2,000 stipend, that came from our savings. That came from off the backs of the American people that were overtaxed. So then now they're giving you your money back, and they make you feel like you're valued, but the money goes right back into the economy, back into the banks. So it's really a bank bailout. So we have to be very careful as we are now becoming more aware of the real games that are being played right in front of our faces. Money that's being moved to crypto. CEOs that used to backhand talk crypto, but now they're like, you're an idiot if you're not investing in crypto. And matter of fact, Bank of America is launching this crypto program right now. You're like, what? When did you change your mind? When were you pro crypto? I thought 3 years ago. Play the clip. Oh, well, I'm a progressive thinker. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, that's new. This is why, like I tell y'all, I've been aggressively posting about crypto. I'm like, guys, this is not the 2018 and 2019 crypto. These guys are finally showing you what their biggest plan of the decade was all along. Act one, scene one, act five. In the middle of a decade, you see how things are transitioning. So don't sit here and be so much on your ass and the sidelines and not put in, you know, conservative decisions of investments for the future so you don't miss out entirely, you know? I remember in 2016, 2017, I'm looking at the crypto markets like, hey, this ain't got no future. What is this? Every time you believe in Bitcoin's price action, then it comes crashing down hard. And back in 2018, I'm like, look, man, I won't even trade this. I remember I was looking at Bitcoin when it was around like 6,000 when it pushed. I would come home, I'd see this and I'll get in and it'll crash. I'm like, what is this? Mind you, I'm not an investor at all in 2018. I'm just a trader trying to master this. And 2018 just went flat. In 2019, nothing. By 2020, when the market moved, I felt the utmost slap in the face. I'm like, when did we, wow, like, what? I was already turned off about this. 2022, I'm still skeptical if it won't drop back down to 10,000, and it never did. Then now we're finally seeing why this shit was so sporadic. We had Epstein backed funding and, weird, dark, nasty people moving funds around and laundering money. And that's what it was all for. But some people literally believed in this enough for 10 years to reap the benefits. But this ain't what that is now. Yes, there will always be some money laundering. Yes, there will always be some weird uh card players and this the whole grand scheme of things. But now we're starting to hear about adoptions, mergers, retirement funds, treasuries that are being built around crypto, real power players that we can tell is now going to make it a functional system, ecosystem, dare I say, where we can literally have this be part of our everyday lives. Not to say this is a move towards like a promising future. I have some concerns. This could be the beginning of a dark dystopian future for us. Everything is connected, everything is controlled. Um, your patterns of purchases is now like really open to a lot of new data and AI, where you're being advertised more aggressively by multiple companies. Like I'll be sitting and watching TV now on Amazon Prime, and the ads are just so in your face, and they have payments right there that's already connected to your account, already connected to your Amazon Prime. All you have to do while you're watching the show being entertained is like, oh, here's the QR code. Trust and believe. A lot of the different payment options will be crypto. On Square Payment already now, on Square Payment, not sure if I showed you guys this. On Square Payment, which is a very popular payment processor for small businesses and large businesses, most mom and pops use Square Payment. Most entrepreneurs use Square Payment over Stripe. But look, oh yeah, there it is. you can now convert sales into Bitcoin. This is next level. We were not here before. I'll get into a couple of debates with people online on threads, and people just to temperature check, and I hear, oh, now Bitcoin is going down to zero. Bitcoin is going nowhere. It hasn't for the last 16 years. It's not done this in the last 16. I'm like, these guys are thinking the next 100 years. You think you know something. These people are thinking the next 50. Just because the thing ain't do what you thought the past 16 years and you went through hell, doesn't mean you need to keep that same ideology about what's right in front of you. So I had to go relearn some things and move with caution instead of just not making moves at all. But make no mistake, I won't continue talking about some of my moves as openly. I just wanted to let y'all know, like I was talking about this. I did tell you how to go about this, and then we ain't gonna talk about it until we find out what happens next in a couple years. But you already know. My plan is to keep dollar cost averaging. I've been the guy who sat there, who wanted to get in at the best price. I've been the guy who's really just given up on this whole crypto talk. But I'm also now the guy that's like, you know what? Looking back at it, I should have just put in things that that won't bother me much if I'm throwing in a 20, 50, 75, or $100 here from time to time, just so I can have some instead of none. So please heed what I'm telling you. There will be functionality in 2026 and beyond that is backed by crypto right in front of our faces. All right. So who has been actively buying some crypto on Coinbase more often since our conversations? Or who's planning on doing? Anybody been putting that plan in motion?
I bought twice already.
Okay.
So
That's more than a lot of us have.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Even if I were to see Bitcoin drop to 70, I'm still going to get in some. I'm not buying as much Bitcoin as I am with Solana. I just like Solana being less commercialized and it's a lot cheaper. And every time Bitcoin goes crazy, everything follows soon after. Yes, Coinbase is fine. They're a whole treasury now. They're listed on in the stock market, you know, like they have a lot more backing and they're FDIC insured. So that's why I don't mind with Coinbase. But yes, as I start to move more larger funds, yeah, I'll be looking into like cold storage wallets and stuff. But yeah, my biggest concern is I'm seeing how these data centers have been, going down and needing, updates and hard resets. And I'm like, yeah, one of those days, these guys, the way they be moving lately, it's like, what's to say that there's this power outage or the software malfunction, and then all of a sudden you just see weird numbers again on your crypto balance, or they got hacked. So just make sure you just have backup plans, but don't just sit on the sidelines and not do nothing else. Okay. Overall, I think I covered everything that I needed to talk about. It is now 8:40.
Oh, I'm sorry. Remember I told you I got on a little late. What did you, can you tell me real quick what you think gold?
Yeah, I just don't see where we're going just yet, but we are gonna pay attention. So
Okay.
we're gonna pay attention to the 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows. See what they do from here. Like Thursday, look, last week from February 28th, December the 2nd, that's Tuesday, to Wednesday and Thursday, we were literally around 41.83. 41.69. That's definitely a recent low that I can say. If price bounces off here again, I'll see what the structure tells me. That's the demand. And then with the high, we've touched 42.60 and we've not been able to break it for some reason. The highest we've gone is 43.85. And we can't even do that lately. So I think all eyes on what this Wednesday is going to tell us, because Wednesday is what? F4MC. And we know there's going to be a lot more volume coming in after that to tell us what's next, right? We might literally see price, bow, just go crazy and finally give us what we were looking for. And then we're all sour sitting down and mad that we spent Monday, Tuesday, and there was just no volume and we were second guessing. I don't like playing these games with the market anymore. If I know there's some big news coming and I can see the volume is choppy because of it, I really slow down. Really slow down. If I see some setups that are just scalps, I'll just scalp. Or I just stay away. That's one thing about the trade management and decision management I need y'all to also realize. Yes, you have goals, but if the choppiness is just too much, there's no hopes that will come out of this. Just stay out. And don't stay long. Make sense? Right. That's all for me. Let's have a great profit.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for that breakdown.
absolutely. Brandy, where you at?
Yeah, I'm in Cali.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, Brandy.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Gloria, how you doing?
How close are you from Figueroa Ave?
From Fig? I'm like, okay, no traffic because we know traffic is just about anywhere you go,
Yeah.
especially in SoCal.
Yeah.
But with no traffic, like 30 minutes, 45,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, 30 minutes. Yeah.
See,
That's
I
with
asked you
no
what
traffic.
city you at, out of respect, on the court.
Right, right.
But
No,
Figueroa
yeah,
goes,
I'm more on the Long Beach side. I don't know if you're familiar
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm on that side. Still in
I'm,
LA County, but yeah.
yeah, facts. Okay. I've never visited Long Beach,
Oh
but
no?
yeah, but I
Okay,
definitely went to Inglewood. I
okay,
used
that's where I'm
to,
from.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Inglewood.
I was very much impressed at Crenshaw. Like the city is clean. It's
Yeah,
it's it's very preserved. It has a charm, but
true.
as beautiful as it is, you could lose your life beautifully.
Yeah. Nah, listen, and the thing with LA, how gangs are here or just certain neighborhoods,
Yeah.
they're the avenues and stuff like that. So they're pockets, you know what I mean? You'll
Yeah.
have pockets, you'll have 60th, and then you go,
Yeah.
one block away and it's okay right there, but you go over the next block
And it's
and
not
that's where
okay.
yeah, right. So it's you could be it because I was where I was living at one point in Inglewood. It was a really a nicer area called Fairview Heights area. But
Ah, okay.
yeah, but the you go over two blocks or whatever
And
and
it's
it's
not a
gang
fair view.
activity, right, exactly, it's not a heights. So
Yo,
it's like you could hear gunshots, you can hear cars screeching, and you can hear the police, you know what I mean, and the helicopters. So it's that's
that's
how it is out here.
yeah. Yeah. My last time in
Yep.
Cali was 2019, and that was basically the year I walked away from everything and I said, I'm gonna bet
Mm,
on myself. Um,
wow.
yeah.
All in, huh?
So
Ten
Cali
toe.
has a very special place in my heart
Oh, that's
because
what's up.
yeah, it's part of my story on like basically it was December. My
Mm-hmm.
brother called me out of nowhere while I was in Texas. Mind you, I'm on a hiatus. My brother's like,
Okay.
yo, my friends kind of bailed last minute. They won't be going to my to this Cali trip with me, and every December he takes a trip just for his birthday. And
Okay.
we
Yeah.
went there, man. We enjoyed ourselves.
Right.
Dope. It was dope.
Yeah, and it is
Miles
just
right
so
here.
much to do here. I just love how unique you go to this part, and then it's like you go to certain cities, but then certain parts of the city, right, are
Yeah,
different too. You know what I mean? So it's whether you're on the south side, west side, you can get different culture, different experiences. So yeah,
yeah.
it's cool. I'm born and raised here, so it's home for sure.
Okay, that's good. I might slide.
Yes.
Like I was really wondering if I should go watch Braun.
Yeah, come catch a Rams game, come catch Brian. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. See, I was out here just putting in.
Oh yes.
That
Oh
was
man.
some good
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yeah, when you see that exit,
Legendary, It's like, yeah. And you go up Crenshaw, I mean, from food to things to do, Lamert Park. Yeah, you just have so much cool stuff going on.
I
So
didn't realize how close Crenshaw is from the airport. It's literally by
yeah.
by the marathon store. There's this back
Yep.
road where you literally take it there, and in 12 minutes you're at the airport.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, definitely and even just Inglewood, in that part,
Yeah,
because you could be here too. You could be on one side of the street and it's L.A. Come here, and then you could be on the other side of the
Miss
street
Crenshaw.
and it's yeah, exactly. So it's you cross over to different cities, but yeah, I mean that if you're in a certain part of L.A., I mean yeah, Inglewood. You got Inglewood, but then certain parts are LA, but they're all kind of clustered real close to LAX. You got El Segundo, which is like a beach city.
Yeah,
A lot of South Bay cities that are close to
yeah. A
LAX.
lot of
In addition to like,
essays.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
What's
yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah, for
fool?
sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
Let me show you guys this cool picture I took with my brother. And
Let me
as you
see.
guys know what my last name is,
Uh huh.
and then
Oh yeah,
by
Felix Auto.
the chat, yeah,
Yeah, the
Felix Auto.
dealership.
Yeah, and you know that's
I
like
love that.
over here is USC is right there on my right,
That's
and
what's
then this
up.
is Figaro, and down the street they
Yeah,
like a lot of the what's it called, the Rolling Loud events were
yeah.
happening, which we went to. So yeah,
Oh, nice, nice.
I had a
Yeah.
time.
Okay, yeah. No, you got into some things while you were here,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I,
it's
I
a
I
good
love that.
time.
That's love. I'm glad.
Marathon
I'm glad you have a
Crenshaw.
good experience because I hear it both ways. I
Yeah,
either hear people
facts. No,
saying,
I
"Oh,
was
I didn't have a good time." I'm like, "Oh man," and then I tell them, "Oh, did you do this? Did you try this?" And they're like, "Dang, I should have been in contact with you
yeah.
before."
I really
I'm
would
like,
have had a
"Yeah."
better time, but my little tour guide, she bet on me. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, holler at me if you ever decide to come back.
yeah, I'll have better chaperones. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Anyways, guys, it was good chopping it up with y'all.
Yeah,
Um,
you as well.
we'll connect throughout the week on both Telegram and Discord, and the webinar recording will be available as soon as it's uploaded. All right, guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Hans.
Hey, bro.